Reactor online. Sensors online. Weapons online.
Oh my god.
All systems nominal.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to episode number 25 of War Room. I'm happy we've made it this far, despite, as you can see, the technical difficulties we always deal with. But welcome, it's episode 25. We got some good guests, we got some old returning guests. Should be a good time. We've got a feature that we've been waiting for literally months. And yeah, so it should be a good night. Let's go start off by going around and introducing some old faces, just to make sure everybody knows who's on. Siri.
I'm Serial Thrax from SJR, and apparently ballistics need buffs.
Why do you say that? Well, we'll get to it. I just say it looks mad enough already. Versi.
Versi, one of the leaders of the 228, founder of Mercstar, and yeah, I'll leave it at that.
Fair enough. And Tony.
Tony's Rex.
Mute yourself in Skype. God damn it, Tony.
Are you kidding me? How dare you?
Very clearly not kidding.
You dirty
Very clearly
person.
not killing.
There you go.
Tony's Rex, leader SWK, and I run Mercs of War.
That you do. And Sace, long time no see.
Sace, I'm a light pilot from SIG, and apparently I'm here supporting the 2 Banshee 9 Light 550 drop.
It's actually 10 lights, but yeah.
Oh god.
Yep.
Face only needs to drop with 11.
To be fair. Okay, well, first context.
For those of you who don't
SJR
know.
played SIG. SJR had no ballistics. Both teams had no jump jets and no lock-on missiles. And to be fair, it's not that ballistics are underpowered, it's that they just combo really well with jump jets, and those weren't in the match either.
I'd agree with that.
Well, I heard that, obviously, the AC-20 is completely underpowered and should be, completely redone. That's what I got out of this. So. Just kidding. We all know what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about the patch notes, for one, and the introduction of private lobbies, for another. So our two main goals tonight, we're going to talk a
Hail
little bit.
Jesus.
Woo! Oh yeah, do we want to get a nice rousing cheer really quick? Woo!
Yeah.
No?
No.
I'm glad I
Not
can
really.
Rabble.
Tell me to wake up the house.
I can actually ask about fixing SRMs.
Dude, we can actually talk about them working now.
But they don't, because they weren't actually fixed.
Dude, they work pretty well for me. Anyway, so we're here to talk about those three things. We got a couple of competition creators here, talk about how private lobbies are going to affect leagues and stuff like that. So, unless you guys have any fun news from the last couple weeks that you want to share, we'll dive right in.
Is that your girlfriend petting the cat in the background?
What?
Is that what they call it nowadays?
Yeah, right. Someone's petting a cat.
Where?
Unimportant. Move on.
I'm so
Anyways.
confused. Oh no, she's playing with her hair, just like
Oh,
her
that's
ponytail.
her hair.
You're
It looked
such
like a cat.
a-
Don't tell her I said that.
Focus, Mercy. Focus.
Oh, I'm so off.
Okay. Anyway. And we killed Mercy. Okay, so to start off, let's talk about the patch notes. So basically, we don't have a ton of stuff to talk about the patch notes other than the actual launch module. But the things you do have to talk about are the CFG config stuff, the SRM fix, and then we'll talk a little bit about the hotfix and what we got in that. So let's start with the .cfg, because I think that's the the most important thing to go with first. What do you guys think about this? So
We can use it again.
yeah, so now you can edit your .cfg. Before it was kind of a yes, no, you can't do it, but there's been explicit permission. You are allowed to use .cfg, and you are allowed to remove cockpit glass, it's like field of view. I forgot.
Improve the distance
Depth
of
of
field of view.
And,
Depth of view,
film grain.
and
Depth of
film
view,
grain.
yeah.
I turned it all off, and it's so
Yes.
pretty.
Yeah, straight up.
Dude, the game looks so good now. Like, I can see everything for miles.
It runs better.
Yeah, I got
Yeah.
That's better.
at least 10
Everyone go
FPS.
Put in the commands and make it 0, 0.0, and 0, and your game will be beautiful.
Yeah, like
It'll certainly be better. Yeah. We should say though that it does not, setting your film grain to 0 does not remove all of film grain like we had back with the CFG.
The
shenanigans
initial
from before,
CFG
right?
change, yeah.
Really, you're turning it from 100% down to like 75%.
just
Is
still
it
up.
the film grain
noticeable.
or is it the haze that's
Well, I'm talking
remaining?
about the haze. I'm assuming that's the same thing, right?
The haze is what's remaining. You turn off the
Yeah.
film grain, and the haze remains.
Yeah.
Yeah, there were two different effects contributing to it, like the
Okay.
environmental smoke and shit haze, and the actual film grain itself.
You can turn off the film grain, which is super nice, but the haze is still there.
Yeah, they got you can get rid of the grunge, but you can't get rid of the haze.
Yeah, dude, everything
But
looks so
you can
crisp.
certainly see better, see a little bit further, but there is still the fog, right? It's not.
Definitely.
Do it.
And it feels so much better without the cockpit glass on, especially on
Oh
like
my god.
HPG where
Oh,
it was
yeah.
super green.
Oh, the worst was
Super
the tunnel in
And the
Forest
scratches
Colony.
all over your glass.
Yeah.
The tunnel in Forest Colony, for whatever reason, your entire screen just went green. That was
When I was
brutal.
running the water on Crimson, it was pretty bad.
Oh, really? Guess I never.
Not
a
on
bunch of
Crimson.
maps.
I just remember
HPG.
somewhere.
HPG is one of the worst.
Yeah,
Yeah.
something about the depths of space that turns green. I don't know.
But
I guess I just
mean,
never go in the water on
It's-
Crimson.
It's a nice fix for those of us that like it this way, and it really improves performance for people that have not so sturdy computers.
Yeah, if
And
you're
it's the best of both worlds, because if you don't believe in removing your cockpit glass, you don't have to.
exactly, you
There you
can
go.
literally choose. I think they said that they do plan on adding these as like toggleable options within the user face, but they wanted us to give us this ability as soon as possible. So that
Field
we're-
of view being toggleable? No way.
I know, right?
Awesome.
So I think that's down the pipes. They just wanted to make sure that we had it if we wanted it and wanted to use it. So that's really nice. I know.
Supporting the competitive community.
Well,
Thank
I
you,
also know.
PGI.
I also know a lot
I
of
don't
the.
even think that's competitive. That's just
I think it's.
general usability.
I think it's a lot of it was the content creators. I saw a lot of people that make videos, like Beef and a couple other people were asking if they could have the client without the cockpit glass because it made it a lot harder to make video like cinematic
Yeah.
videos. So I know that's part of it. Does Celestial still do videos?
Celestial is not. Last I heard, he messaged on Facebook, is that they had gone with a Canadian company to do it for tax reasons. So he is no longer making.
Like the official MechWarrior videos?
Yeah, he's not making them. I don't think he's pretty much that was the end of MechWarrior for him.
Gotcha.
So
Dude,
he's playing Living Legends, I think.
and that Huggin was kind of a bad video.
Yeah, it
The
was. It
Celestial
wasn't the
back.
best. I love Celestial's videos, but I understand why they did it.
Yeah, I mean it's a business decision. You gotta go with what you can afford in a lot of cases. Yeah. So .cfg file. Anything else you guys want to talk about on that? Okay,
I don't
killer.
know. I like it.
It's all beautiful, really.
It really
We
is.
wanted it, right? And it's nice. It's nice. PGI has, an official stance sort of on it, right? I mean, back in the day, they always said, modifying a CFG totally 100% fine, but they did have to remove that one section right after.
People took out
all
their
that stuff
entire
came out, right?
cockpits. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And so this is good because everyone
And then-
wants to be able to modify these to some degree, right? It's not. You don't want it to get out of
Limit
hand.
it so you
Yeah.
can, because you could pull off fog and everything and make
You could see
Forest
forever.
Colony.
You could
Yeah,
pull off
You could
trees.
see
and-
forever, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Certainly.
I
Forever.
feel like you're forgetting the bit where people rabbled about it being OP and got it banned.
I mean, to be fair, it is OP if you're removing trees and fog and everything, and you can see completely across the map at all times. That is not okay, and if there were a way to police it, it would be a bannable offense from tournaments.
Yeah.
I will
So,
say
They
that
just got rid of it, which was the right call.
I agree.
Which
No,
is
no,
right,
this
and
is...
Using it.
Yeah, I would...
The that was the happiest I've ever been with PGI, because that took them like a week to find the problem, fix the problem, and that had to be a record for PGI, frankly.
Dude,
I mean, maybe some hotfixes beat it.
Hey, man,
I was very, very happy with how they handled that.
They're doing good in my book, especially of late.
Yeah, especially of late.
Certainly.
Speaking of things that are good, SRM fix.
Wait.
Okay, what do you
I
want
have
to
one
say?
more question.
Yeah.
On top of glass, depth of view, all that, or is there anything else we can continue to remove in the future that they could possibly like continue along this line of thought and improve?
Good question.
They could add a field of view slider for people that want a different field of view.
That'd be great.
I'm not even talking like integrating it into the client, but just like options. We've got glass, we've got fog, we've got grain. Like fog is in and of itself, but are there any other like graphical things that we need access to, or is this good enough?
I'm trying to think of something, but I mean, these
don't
are the
wanna-
big ones, right?
Yeah, I don't want it to get like out of hand like the original like CFG exploit was.
Yeah, I don't
where,
want you
like,
to.
trees and shit are getting removed. Like, I think that at a certain point, like PGI needs to sit down and go, no, you will have this certain level of immersion. God damn it, fuck you. But I don't know.
I think that's okay.
It can't feel
I
good as
think
a
this is-
content creator.
this
to
feels
have
good.
somebody. It does. It's a nice change. It's the big issue is cockpit blast. A lot of people didn't like it, and I'm happy.
I just wanted to make sure that we're happy with what we got, and there wasn't any like pressing one to get to.
Yeah, I mean, let's keep our ears open, see if we can think of something. But I mean,
Give the
those are all
competitive
big ones,
community another month. I'm sure we'll come up with something.
We'll figure
right?
something out.
Yeah.
We'll come up with something to complain about.
Oh, I have things to complain about, just not in regards to that.
Well, there you go.
Well, the next thing on the list is SRMs. How do you guys feel? So I tried SRMs out, and I noticed a remarkable change. Now I know Siri is going to say that he didn't.
Oh, should we provide
With
context
SIBO
on what the
effect?
change was?
So the change with SRMs was. Did they actually detail it in the patch notes?
I got this.
Okay.
The change that they did was there was a bug where there was a limit to how many explosion frames CryEngine would process in one frame. So if you fired all your missiles and there were a bunch of explosion effects at the same time, then it would say, okay, well, I'm going to do half of these, then I'm going to do half of these next frame. The problem is that on the next frame, your target had moved, so some of them could be exploding against midair, basically.
Or your ass.
Or they had the explosion frames that were delayed actually ended up behind you and were blowing rear armor. So that was what was happening with people shooting somebody in the front and damaging their rear. And
Okay.
So that's supposed to be gone. Now, to be clear, this is not the big fix, the Buckton fix. That's supposed to be next week, this coming Tuesday.
There's another patch this Tuesday, or is that just the hot fix?
No, but it's the first patch of the month because they reset it to the Tuesdays just like from the first Tuesday. So it's possible like the ones with 5 Tuesdays in a month, we get 3 patches and then another one right away. So
I didn't know that they
believe
started
April
doing that.
had 8. They've always done it that way. It just three Tuesdays in a month doesn't happen often.
Okay.
Personally, I'll say that I have not tested SRMs as much as I probably should have, but the matches I have played, I'm still not afraid of them. I mean, it's definitely more annoying, but it's not like, oh god, I really need to make sure I don't give my ass to them because I'm just gonna get cored like the Splat Cats were.
Yeah.
So they just fixed this one problem. They didn't actually really address the
The
SRM
Buckton
HSR
portion.
as a-
Yeah.
It's 2 parts. I will
There's
say
2 parts, and that's what I'm holding out for.
I have noticed Lerms hitting better on lights. Everything's hitting better on lights, but
Oh yeah.
Their lives really aren't getting any easier. as
our
time
lives
progresses.
are not. But Lerms, I've noticed. I've been running and had Lerms instead of spreading over my body. They pretty much hit where they're gonna hit.
Right, because with the Lerms, you were firing volleys of like 50, right? So half of those were going to stagger to the next frame.
Yeah, and it's painful.
So
Yeah.
I did a little testing, and Jagger did some extensive testing on his stream, and while it felt a little bit better, it wasn't really anywhere near perfect or the level that it would need to be. And so I like you guys, I'm holding out for next week to see how that goes. And if that actually makes it like 90% reg or better, then I think SRMs are going to be in a good place. They definitely won't need any damage nerfs. They might need a damage buff. But part of my thinking on that is, this is kind of jumping ahead, but in smaller 8v8 scenarios, rather than 12v12, I think SRMs are going to be naturally more powerful.
Yeah,
I agree. Sorry, I was messing with the overlay because everybody's cams are not working tonight, which is, it's whatever.
Except for me.
Yeah, Versity, way to go.
Almost as bad as Twitch.
Dude.
Mine was working.
Alright, first of all, I have a bone to pick with you, Skype. I paid for premium calling for 6 months or whatever. I get an email the other day. It's like, everybody gets group calling now, and you get some premium services. First time I fucking use group calling after I get my free group calling. It's total trash. Nobody's shit works. Bring back my premium time that I pay for that actually works. I don't give a shit. I don't know if they rerouted the servers or what they're doing, but it's actually just been awful lately. There, that's all my rant about Skype. Fucking hate it. So we had
other news. Twitch is deleting all my match videos. Fuck you, Twitch.
Seriously?
On the note with SRMs, I want SRMs to make Pretty Babies viable.
Turn your camera back on, Sace. Whole overlay is broken.
Just putting that out there.
Sorry, what did you say? You want your Pretty Baby to work?
I want Pretty Babies to be viable.
See, the thing is that if SRMs are fixed, the awesome is still trash because it's just a barn.
It's a barn, yeah, I know. But I mean, like, quick draws are dirt, and they're kind of bad already, but now they're dirt because SRMs don't really work. And I want my medium mechs to actually be, like, usable because, like, they've always been the redheaded stepchild since HSR was implemented. So if you give us SRMs...
It wasn't even HSR, it was just the SRM nerf in the first place got rid of them. Or minimized their potential. I think HSR was in before SRM nerf, wasn't it?
I don't... Maybe the other guys can comment. When was it that the Centurion 9A no longer was a thing?
Very end of last summer.
Yeah.
And why was that? Like, because like that's
SRM
where
nerf.
That was the SRM nerf. It wasn't the HSR implementation. Because
it was both of those,
everything,
and the fact that everybody realized that Sense had like 100% death ratio even in matches that we won.
Also 12s. 12s killed it.
Oh, 12s, yeah. The 12s really killed medium mech.
Oh, yep, good call.
12s killed the medium mech. That's what it was. I agree with that. I think everyone can agree with that. 12s killed the medium mech.
Well, and if you need any more validation for that comment, you just look at the R-Hot drops or the Merc Civil War drops where what's the natural progression? Stacking heavies and stacking lights and just ignoring mediums, right?
Yeah.
So,
and
unfortunate, but
the thing was that with 12s coming in and people figuring out to shoot the goddamn legs.
Yeah.
So many people for so long just kept shooting the torso. They were kind of viable beyond their expiry date. People didn't figure that out.
Yeah, they had some use for a little bit longer. But then you'd see other teams being able to just, like, people were bringing back the Hunchback, the 9-laser Hunchback, and just wrecking people with that. Then we had Shadowhawks come out, our Lord and Savior Shadowhawk. That thing does everything you want at this point. There's no other medium, unless you're playing Merrick and have restrictions and have to use another medium.
Agreed.
I'd argue that the 4P never died in the first
4P
place.
is still strong.
At the height of Cent A, I would argue the Hunch was no longer viable, but that was a long time ago.
Don't hit on my 4P and my 4H or whatever.
I've come up with my new favorite game, which is letting you guys get off topic while I place your little TeamSpeak icons in funny places on your images. Do we want to keep talking about SRMs, or I was just gonna quick mention the hot fixes and kind of what went down with that.
Well,
Go
it
for
might
it.
be more quicker to mention what was broken and then.
That's true. So, do we actually know what caused that? Because I was like, fucking patched my client right away. I was like, yeah, gonna do 3-3-3-3, and then I dropped in a game with one
No.
person on the other team. And I was like, oh, something's broken,
I don't.
and
Basically, I think they didn't explain what, but it's just something in the matchmaking logic was broken.
which is weird because it worked fine for me in public test.
They
I had-
actually said that they found the error showed up near the end of public test.
Probably started to
but-
get more people on. I bet it was
Actually,
a numbers
when
thing.
Fewer people were on, it showed up, and then somehow I think with the actual live environment, it showed up again. So that's kind of weird. The other one in regards to matchmaking was that
12s now drop into public queue.
this one. Yes, if you're in 12, you're still restricted by 3333, and you're dropping into pug queue. It's
Painful.
we actually
Hilarious.
we actually
And-
thought it was
This is
fixed
happening right
after
now
the hot
as
fix.
well? Or still, sorry?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
We thought it was fixed after the hot fix, and so we put up a 12 and we dropped in after our match, and yeah, we feel kind of dirty about it.
It doesn't feel good.
No, you don't.
Can't
You don't
imagine
feel
it
good
is.
about yourself doing that. It's sure you're farming. The funny thing is that you're a 12 man, and you can, and it's because you're in the pug queue, you can use third person view.
Dude, it's just like the
Wait,
the
that's
old
just-
days with 8-mans where you just got to like drop in like, oh, 8 random people.
So yeah, if you're
Let's do
terrible
it.
human beings, this week is your week
Yep, pretty much.
because it's not getting
Go
fixed
level
until the
those
patch.
mechs, guys.
228 has a conscience until C-Bills enter the picture.
We had
Yeah,
to warm up
well-
and it was pug shoot.
We will get to that, but I think it's about time. Launch module, guys. I'm so
One more
excited.
thing. One more thing.
Oh, you have one more thing?
The other thing that was broken was that the any queue was being separated from the other queues, and so like if you were dropping any, you weren't getting matched against people who were only dropping conquest. So they had to disable the specific queues, and I think they brought that back
That was
Yeah.
with the hotfix.
Specific
Yeah.
queues are back now. Ah, I didn't know that was why. Huh, that's
That
cool.
was the hotfix then.
Oh, okay. I knew that they brought that. I knew that they brought mode selection back in, but I didn't know why it had been gone. But that's interesting. All right, launch module, guys.
It looks like a real game now.
You're just so excited to have the lobby.
I
All
just it looks like a game. It
And it's
makes,
pretty.
it is pretty.
Dude, the consumable business where you can just add your consumables right in is super nice. But I was just gonna say,
I'd like to throw it out there. Our match against Sig tonight, start to finish, including a misdrop, was 45
oh,
minutes.
Mulligan, got it.
Oh yeah.
I was like,
I know.
how did you misdrop with private lobbies? The fuck?
We had a Comcast error.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it was, and then we had a coalition match yesterday against Apocalypse Lancers with 3 other teams. It was 45 minutes tops.
QQ, right? I thought it was
Thing
QQ.
of
It was
beauty.
QQ, yeah, it was.
I'm so excited, you guys.
Yeah, that's great.
Okay, so really, what does this do? Like, obviously, we know that it's going to completely change how we do matches, but really, what does this launch module bring to the table for competitive players?
It lets you practice amongst yourselves, which is interesting.
It lets the competitive scene be a thing. I think that we're going to see the entire competitive scene become bigger because of this. I mean, how many times have we heard from teams or units or whatever, oh, we don't want to enter the competitive scene because who wants to drop on Assault for 2 hours to get 3 matches in?
Yeah. Also, we'll see more people pulling double matches, double headers.
Yeah.
I know 228, as of yesterday, we got challenged by like 9 separate units to scrims because they want to improve and enter the competitive community, and they feel that playing against high-level teams is the fastest way to see where their problems are and to speak with those teams to help themselves improve. And literally, like, when I got that message that we had that level of, like, interest all of a sudden, I mean, that was, like, one of the greatest things I could have heard. I mean, not that we have a bunch of work on our hands now, but that was great.
Well, that's the community's growing, right? That's a beautiful thing.
Also,
I don't think we've had a single scrim challenge. I don't know what to think of that.
I can tell. Seriously? Seriously? You seriously don't know what to think about that? Seriously?
No, tell me, what should I think about that?
Seriously.
Seriously?
You stomp everybody's ass. Nobody wants to get like totally wrecked into the ground, man.
Nobody wants a mud hole.
Like, come on. Come on. You're not that naive.
You should challenge us then.
Deal, I challenge you. There we go. Done. Scrim.
1v1 me, bro.
1v1 me, Siri.
It's because you all hide in your kitty channels and you don't come out into the light.
Well,
Hey,
so-
cats are bitches.
Honestly, the thing that I'm the most
Except
excited
for, like,
for
you imagine Jaeger.
is we can have match days where we all just sit down and play for like 6 hours and then we're done with matches for like the whole week and we can just practice.
Or sleep.
Or sleep, or I can fucking do homework. I don't have to dedicate 3 hours every night to just sitting down. I'm like,
Yeah.
alright,
Oh,
You know
Let's
how
play
many
some
hours
Mech
of
Warrior.
sleep we've all lost for matches when we had work the next day?
you are
These
squandering time, boys.
people-
We used it to pick up on drinking.
people that
I
tell
do
me
that while competing, thank you.
I have people on the show that are like, yeah, I've got a match at, like 9 Eastern. I'm like, oh, you'll totally be done in time. There's actually no way you can fuck up a best
30
of 5
minutes
series in
after
2
showtime.
hours. Yeah, Siri. That's fine. So yeah, I'm really excited about that. But, like, so are you guys looking forward to actual matches or like the ability to practice more?
Both.
Both.
Matches, I hate
themselves-
practicing.
Matches themselves are not going to be a shit fest anymore to do like 3 drops over 3 hours. So, nice. There's also the factor of map selection. Nice. And the factor of, not having to do 12 people.
Nice.
You want to practice, but you only have 10 people, and you're like, oh, well, we could find another team.
Not practice. Matches.
Oh,
Less
that
than
too.
12.
right, yeah.
Because
Well,
to be
I haven't-
We'll move on to that in a little bit.
Yeah, I was gonna say
we'll
I haven't
save
talked
that
to.
topic.
Yeah, okay, that works.
So that's the wonderful thing. Like SWK today, we had 8 and then 10 guys on, and we did 4v4, 5v5, and we just did like 3 mediums and a light versus 3 mediums and a light. I mean, what better way to practice that infamous light drop that no one can really claim dominance in? Like of all things, the light drop is always like the coin flip. Any team could win that. You get a bit of luck and some skill in there.
So-
and you can't go into the queue and practice that. So now you can play against your own
Yeah.
unit.
Yeah,
And just the
super
ability to
handy.
train players. I mean,
Yeah.
you can actually take people through spots on maps now and be like, you can walk up here.
Yeah.
You can't walk up here.
see right here, you can jump here and shoot over this tourmaline crystal and hit targets that you want to hit because the invisible wall doesn't exist here.
So, like, what I've noticed is not just is it easier to practice those different things, but there's a higher level of competition once you get past a certain point. Like for us, the past couple nights where we've actually practiced against ourselves, like 1 night's of practice has been worth like the entire previous month.
Yeah.
No joke. Just because, like, when you were running in the public queue and you were getting, well, these guys are running quick draws and Orions and there's a couple Atlases and we're running 3-3-3-3 with full meta. It's just like, okay, well, this next 5 minutes is just gonna be a roll where we learn nothing.
Or
And-
trying
Don't
to
hate on the Euros with their 12 spider teams.
Or trying
or
to
like
sync
just-
550s.
That was always brutal.
Yeah, that. Oh my god.
Well, so that actually brings up something. Do you guys think you'll ever use the public 12s queue?
Yes. I mean,
For
when
drunk
when you
nights?
just- well,
Or
when
if we
you-
don't have like the critical mass of getting like 6v6, 7v7, 8v8.
I know that
Yeah.
228, we've been looking into where we will set up 2 scrims a week for our like strongest players so that we can improve our strongest players. But I expect the other days of the week to be the 3-3-3-3, and that's where we bring in the people that need the improvement, need the practice, our newest players to get the feel of the team. Ideally, that's what I think the 3-3-3-3 should be. Is that's the relax, have fun. This isn't hardcore. This is time for us to practice what we want to practice. But if we lose, we lose. Kind of mentality.
Yeah, I was just wondering because I know that for a lot of people, they don't necessarily. Now that we have these lobbies, a lot of people are just gonna be like, dude, fuck public 12s. Like, you got to do different restrictions, etc. You can't practice. So I just didn't know what you guys thought about that or how you're.
I'm sure
what-
people will still see 12-man teams or serious 12-man teams in the 12-man queue, but it'll be on less serious nights when you're not
Yeah,
gearing up for something. You're not practicing hardcore.
Mm-hmm.
it isn't going to be on a Thursday.
Yeah.
Everybody fucking matches up on Thursdays.
There's only like 2 games tonight, I thought. Lords and
Well, that's
Ghost
because
Bear.
Merrick Civil War is on
Merrick had
5-day
3
break.
weeks.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
We
right.
had a break for this week for private lobbies.
Yep, that's right. I remember that.
But I think it really comes down to is just how populated is the 12-man public queue as a whole, though. Because, I mean, in general, with the growth of Merrick Civil War and Arhad and all those kind of things, like, we've seen more units hitting the 12-man queue. It used to be like you'd find like the same 2 or 3 units, and if you're a good team, you rolled them, and then like 2 or 3 matches later, the queue was dead. And now the queue, well, before the private lobbies, there was always people in the queue. And even if it was like hitting SJR repeatedly. And I think as long as that continues and all the units keep the mentality that that's a good thing, that we should be dropping the public queue because it still gives players experience. And it's not hardcore. You don't have to get butthurt. It's not serious. It's good, fun, practice. I think the public queue will be good. But if everyone just tightens their bungholes and everyone prepares for competitive matches, then no, the public queue is going to die and it's not going to work.
To be clear, we're talking public queue 12s.
Yeah, public queue 12s.
Because I've heard some people be concerned about public queue 4s, and I don't think that's going to be an issue of the quality of 4s.
I'm not worried about
because, like we're discussing in chat, lobbies don't make money. We got to go make money somewhere. And 4s is where you can cut loose anyways.
And you don't want to expect a team to have,
Well, so I've got this here on my show notes. Is there anything else you guys want, like in terms of features for the public 12-man queue?
Public 12s.
I know a feature I want for the private.
That's the next. Don't worry, that's the next question.
We all know the exact same one for the private. For the public 3s. I think it's overall good. I think the 333 is generic enough that I'm not concerned about more restrictions or less restrictions or anything like that.
I want to hold my comment till we get a 333 in public.
I know, so I'm just talking about like public 12s, and I want you to be able, like the original idea they had way back when, where you ready up one of each mech type and you drop into a lobby and you get to pick, or you get to at least like they give you your team, your already set 333 team, and you just get to all vote on a map or something like that.
Oh yeah, kind of like a League of Legends kind of thing.
Just like somewhat of a choice. So like you pick your game mode and
to prepare some strategy with the pug queue that you ended up with.
Exactly. You get like 30 seconds.
I'd like that.
Get your match.
That's a good idea.
I just think it'd be nice to have like that sort of public lobby, not really a lobby, but just the ability
where you could
to
actually
like,
set up lerms to be a lermpocalypse with a tag narc raven or something.
Right, like
Don't encourage that, Versi.
Yeah, do not encourage that. But say that's what you're doing, and you're dropping with like 2 ravens and 2 stalkers, and you find a match, and you're like, everybody vote for Alpine right now, just do it. Like I think that's a good Excuse me. I think that's a good feature to have. It also allows people to socialize more, because right now if you're trying to socialize with anybody in-game, you're talking in-game, and it's a lot harder to actually communicate when you're trying to kill shit. So it would give you time to be like, oh, hey, so-and-so, good to see you, haven't played with you in a while, blah, blah, blah. Pick map, talk about builds, go. And I don't know how hard that would be for them to implement, but that would be, in my opinion, a great idea for public games as well as public 12s.
And I also think
that's a C-bill nerf.
Yeah.
What?
You gotta process those C-bills as quick as possible, is what he's saying.
See,
you're space rich. Shut up.
One thing though,
I have 6 million C-bills. I'm not space
never mind.
rich.
All right, it's defunct.
Poor.
Defunct has like fucking C-bills out his ass. It's unfair.
He's the richest cook I've ever seen.
Ask Lego. He's gonna buy all the dropships.
How many does he have?
I think he's pushing 300,000 or 300 million or whatever it is.
Who was it? Do we still know any billionaires? There used to be.
There was one. I haven't seen him in forever, and I don't care about him because
I haven't.
DB.
I haven't seen Xander in a while, but I think last time, or maybe it was Han. It was either Xander or no, it was either Xander or Trent. Xander or Trent had like 750 mil or something crazy like that. So maybe.
Kathy Angst was pushing
anyways.
800 last time I checked.
Damn, man.
Anyways.
So additional features we want for private matches.
No.
What?
Wait.
I wanted to hit on your topic, Ruffle.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
So one thing that I actually was thinking when you brought that up is that that's a great recruitment method too, because remember they were going to make it so that only one pre-made is on either team. So if a pre-made from SJR or SWK or SIG or 228 or HHOD or APOC or whatever team you are, you enter that queue with your 4-man team. It's expected that the 4-man team should be taking charge in that lobby. And they should be helping the new guys build their team and meet up with the other guys. I mean, everyone knows that, all of our units, some guys drop private queue. I mean, not private, but, single drops and stuff. You get those guys together, you prepare your drops, you prepare your maps, you prepare your mechs, you plan it all out, and then you go. And I think that's a great way to recruit people.
I'm not even talking like as in-depth as you're talking, because that does run into the problem of it taking way too long to find a match and like get a match set up and stuff like that.
True.
But I'm just talking like, if you take the exact system we have now, only when you hit a match, instead of putting you directly into the match, it just puts you on a lobby screen with a little vote ticker, and you get to vote for different maps. And then everybody votes, and it picks the highest map, or if it's a tie, it shuffles between the highest two and randomly selects one, and then you go to that map. And it just gives you like a minute to talk to people, see what everybody else is running, talk to your team, talk to the enemy, be like, hey, what's up, how's it going, pick a map that you like, and go. Easy peasy.
Easy peasy.
Easy peasy. Dude, I need a beef soundboard. It'd be the greatest thing ever. Go ahead, Siri.
I'd honestly rather just have the ability to ban list like 2, maybe 3 maps when you're dropping. That's it. I think that voting is just too much complication, and kind of like when we were discussing getting everybody to ready up max, that like somebody is going to be salty and unhappy with map choice. Because, okay, well, I'm running an ER Large Laser Raven, but all you douchebags voted for River City. So,
I can
like,
see.
I'd rather just keep it random.
Okay.
With the ban list.
Yeah, but then you'll never play Terra Therma ever again.
Thank God.
What's the fucking problem with that?
We played it
Dude.
enough tonight. Siri worked his magic.
I swear, it's a
Like
random.
Savage, she was in the group.
I mean,
Savage. Oh wait, is it Savage or somebody else who always gets Terra Therma?
I'm just going purely from like a social point of view. I think it'd be a lot better that way.
See, I honestly like. I a lot of the time think the pugs, beyond just basic corralling and pointing them in certain directions, and even then they're not listening. It's just going to be a minute of friction where like you're trying to take control. Like it's the same thing as the current company commander. Like you're trying to take control, say go here, and people are just like, Fuck you, I do what I want. I go over here and die alone.
Actually, that you say it.
I mean,
it
that's
makes
gonna-
sense because when was the last time you saw somebody take channel commander or whatever group commander in a public match not get just wrecked?
Like 8 months ago when I did it last. I haven't done it in forever. Somebody actually made a Reddit post and be like, I love Raffle Waffle. He took command and we won a bunch of games. And I was like, thanks.
Hugs love a man who takes.
I
command of
remember
them.
that.
Yeah, I know,
That
right?
was- like you got like celeb fame in the unit for like 3 weeks. Cause of
Right
that.
after I joined, yeah. Everybody's like, oh, this Raffle guy is pretty important. Little did they know.
And it was like a hill push on.
It was the
Frozen City.
easiest shit ever. It was. It was a hill push.
Everyone, get right up next to the hill, and we're gonna push over.
Like, okay, they
3,
touched Theta.
2,
Go.
1. Good job.
Yep. Well, okay, we won. Good job. They touched Theta. GG. Like, it's not hard. But no, you're totally right. Most time people take company command and they're like, I have company command. Wait. And they fuck with your lances and then they DC and are dicks. I don't know.
Or, like when I'm dropping solo in a small group and there's another 4 who is trying to be all tactical and shit and is like, guys, we just have to camp back here and let them come to us.
Charge into lower city.
Airstrikes, bro.
Wait, you fuckwit, this is Conquest.
Dude, I've done
It's
that
just
before.
like, I don't trust other people enough to follow their lead, and I
Well, and
feel
so-
that's common enough.
And so I don't even necessarily mean it about like tactics is nice and sometimes that will happen and sometimes that won't. But you're going to have that in, like, think of every other game like that. Think of MOBAs and that kind of shit. It's never as much about, tactics as it is about, like, it's the ability to talk to people. And like this game is pretty lacking in social effects right now. And I think that it might go a long way just to making, like, people more recognizable. You're gonna look through the other team, like, it's an idea, and I do get your complaints. Like, that is going to be a problem. But at the same time, I would still love it if when we dropped into a match, instead of the 60 seconds to ready up with just looking at the lances, we got the lances just like listed tiny on each side and a giant map in the middle, so you could see where the lances spawn and talk to each other.
Or adding things, letting people know who the 4-man is, in case like you are.
No, because that gets into like the fucking try hard pre-mades, blah 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 blah. I don't want to listen to
Whatever.
you.
I mean, if you get a 4-man, you get a 4-man. You deal with it.
You already know who the 4-man is. It's your
We-
Alpha Lance.
We
know
already
who the
know who the
4-man
4-man is. Nobody else does.
Pabst Blue Ribbon, and the other thing,
Twitch
that
sponsor.
I'd like to see
Please.
is it. I mean, let's say you don't do that. At least give us like tags of some sort. That way, I can see I have an SJR guy that I'm not accustomed to seeing because he's one of the EU guys, or I see a SIG guy that's brand new, or a 228. Oh, there's 228 guys in this, this match, so that the units see the people, that there's some identification to the, that kind of stuff. I'd like to see that. I'd like to see, that guy that just pulled, 500 damage and got 4 kills. He's from a unit I've never seen before. What unit is that? And I'd actually like to type that in and see who is that.
Didn't they
I
mention
would wholeheartedly support that.
Didn't they mention
and
the
I really
ability?
don't know why it's not in the game yet.
Didn't they mention
but
the ability to add your own tag at some point, to add like your own unit tag? And
That was the whole mercenary community warfare thing.
Gotcha.
Phase 1 of CW is supposed to be that.
Gotcha. Killer. Well, hopefully that comes soon.
Someday.
TM.
Okay. What else do we want for private matches? So, like,
1, the ability to go into your goddamn mech lab.
And fix
Because
your
right
match.
now you
are we
can't.
on 12-man?
12-man private matches, yeah.
Oh, yeah, series.
Yeah, that one's kind of important.
Wrong! The correct answer was, I want the ability to get my modules and consumables for fucking free because I don't make C-bills playing these matches.
Yeah, too.
I do
I mean,
not...
I kind of get why they do it. But
No!
it seems
No!
unnecessary.
We're already playing premium time to be able to
I
do
know,
it.
right? We're already paying for it.
It's not
so
how this
why-
works. We don't get...
But Raffle, you have premium time, therefore you get an additional C-bill bonus anyway.
Go fuck
Just
yourself.
30% bonus on
You're
zero.
gonna give him an aneurysm. I'm gonna need you to slow that down.
Like, no, it just we're double paying for premium lobbies, and I understand that you want us to like pay premium time. That totally makes sense to me. Like, of course, we get basic options without it. Blah 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 blah. But the fact that we're paying $2 million for or 2 million C-bills for a consumable, or not 2 million, Jesus, those are actual modules. 80,000 for a consumable.
Yeah, or 12 or
120,000.
120
yeah,
if you're using or
UAV or something.
on my GDC, it can go up to 160. But
To be-
I don't think like you don't make that back in just like one match outside. So I think the fact
if you're
that
running premium time, you do.
not if you lose,
If you win.
Don't
if you
lose.
win.
Don't lose. It's
Thanks,
that easy.
thanks, bro.
Step 3 profit, bro.
Weren't you paying attention when we said that the practice is so much better? So you should be going out and stomping everybody.
Instructions
Yeah.
unclear. Lost C-bills.
Yeah, that's who's got
Betting
out
on.
of the queue just for you.
Instructions unclear. Lost C-bills.
Yep. I just think it's unnecessary, and I don't know if this is why, but I think one of the reasons right now is that your mechs are linked in and out. So if you purchase your consumables in the premium or in the lobby and then left, you'd still have them in your mech.
That makes sense.
So
It's not just technical though. It is by design to disincentivize just sitting in a lobby all day and playing your games there. They need something to make you get in fours, and to me, it's an irritant, but it's not to that level. And honestly, I find the game much better doing private matches with no strikes anyways. Like, fuck strikes.
no, I
So-
agree.
I
But
hate
if
them.
I'm doing a scrim, against a team that I really like, it's supposed to be good practice, we're gonna use strikes. Say we're doing 10 games in a night, because 10 games only takes like 2 hours now, which is super awesome, especially if you're never switching drop decks. Like, that's a lot of C-bills. That's like,
Hold that thought, because or I'm holding my rebuttal to that thought because it's going on to the 8v8 discussion. Or
I was just gonna
agree
say,
with that,
so
but
that's almost
I think-
that's almost a million C-bills, which is 12 games, or average C-bill income is just like around 100,000, right?
I think the best thing they could do was keep it like that, but then incentivize the earning in public 12s.
So make public 12s worth more.
Yep.
Yeah, put the money back. I would also
That
be
would-
happy.
That
If
would
I-
encourage the health of the public 12s queue, while still keeping all the options there.
I would like an option just to pay like a monthly pass or something for private queue. Like,
Wait, isn't that just 1 month of premium time?
it's true, but I mean, you're paying for all these things, and if you're not playing all that much, it's just not worth it so much. I guess you got to make back the money you're losing.
Well, if you look at it this way, you're paying the premium to get the lobbies, and now you just have the others bonus. I don't know. To me, it's still good value. Might
The
just
only
be me.
issue is once you put it on, it ticks down no matter what.
Not an issue when you're buying a month at a discount to the nominal rate.
The big thing right now is being able to fix your mix, though, for me.
I agree. That is something that needs to be added. That also goes into the if we could have like a couple different mech presets, like make us pay like an MC cost, but then we can save 2 different presets for our mechs.
I don't.
Eh?
I don't
Eh?
see if you can build the presets. I don't see why they don't let you have. Why would you have to pay for more presets?
Yeah,
Just a way to make money.
No, I disagree on monetizing that.
Yeah, I would.
There's
I would
no-
like,
There's no way to do it now except for buying another C-bill mech. So if they add it as an additional feature, like we're not losing content, they're just gaining an additional monetary value.
Really though, I mean, really, if they just let us, have multiple variant, like not multiple, but multiple loadouts for the same mech that we already own, they're not really losing anything because all it's doing is saving us time. I mean, it's not like, oh my god, I hate really switching this Raven between builds. Let me buy another one. I'm going to spend 2 minutes in doing it. Whereas if they let you have a set preset, you save 2 minutes. They're not losing any money, and I'm much happier.
Sometimes they are if it's an endo Pharaoh build versus not. I'm just
Yeah.
I'm just saying it is a possibility.
It is. And I mean, you can still charge for that, charge for the difference, and like have the presets, and if you don't have the weapons in your inventory or something, it just charges you that to swap to it.
Yeah, that also works. I do like that.
I
were you
do
saying?
think that's still overcomplicating it. If you could just save presets like normally, then just anywhere, not just like that. It's a feature that people have asked for a while.
I mean, I get why they haven't added it.
I own 3 Cataphract 3Ds because there's a number of builds I like to play. I would have liked to have been able to switch between them without having to own 3.
Agreed.
Well, I own 2.
3?
And the reason I own 2 is because one has
3.
Endo and the other has Endo and Pharaoh.
We have a light pilot that owns 4 Jenners to like, because he hates switching between no jump jets and stuff for Merrick.
Yeah. Well, Jenner's cheap. I mean, I used to run 2.
That XL engine is not
Jenners are
cheap.
not cheap. Don't lie. Jenners cost the same
The
as an
Jenner
LS.
is
That's
cheap.
true.
The XL engine is expensive as fuck.
The
Yeah,
Endo,
you're
the
right.
Pharaoh, and the double seat sinks do
Yeah,
not.
and you have to buy all 3 upgrades.
I agree with Versenix on this one.
It ends up being about 12 million.
So
Yeah.
other than the ability to edit mechs, what are we thinking? In terms of 12 maps, what can we do to make it better?
Getting rid of the ability to see your enemy team's tonnage.
That would be actually, I mean, it does, because we were able to
Yeah.
see, because, well, on one end, if you make it so you can use the mech lab in-game, that helps. Because if you don't, like, for example, if in the yesterday our game tonight, somebody left, they were down 45 tons from their 550, somebody came back, or they're down 35, so we know it's another light. Like, it
Well,
just
yeah,
gives
that
you,
didn't tell you much, because like we were waiting on Fission to get his mech in, so all you knew was that guy was in a light. You didn't know how many
Yeah.
lights we had. But for example, when we were doing all of the switches and inviting people, like I was deliberately waiting to invite a lot of people at once, so it wasn't just one guy joining and it going up by say
Increments.
95 tons, and then a minute later another guy joining and it going up by I don't know 55 tons.
Yeah.
But yeah, in that 55 drop, if one of your Banshees had dropped, they'd have been like, whoa, where'd 95 tons go?
that would be mostly fixed if you could fix your mechs in-game. But we're also
Still,
removing
there's
the
just no
tonnage.
reason. There's no reason really to see it. You just
Yeah.
need to know your own. You just need to know if the enemy is within the tonnage limit prescribed.
It's true.
I think that one of the reasons that that's a thing well, no, because it doesn't show their mechs, and it shows yours.
Yeah, it was. We had that
Yeah, it should-
community outroar to get the mechs removed.
Yeah, it
and
should
I think
be.
this was just left over because nobody thought, oh hey, this is actually kind of similar.
Yeah, I think
so
so. It shouldn't be a problem.
I tweeted Nico the other day and he was like, yeah, I see where you're coming from, I'll tell somebody. But I haven't heard anything back since. And if it stays kind of like this, oh well. Like say said, if we get the ability to edit mechs, or if, like we did tonight, was just be a little
Crafty.
obfuscate a little, or like join in a locust and then switch to what you're actually running.
Clever.
So we can get around it. It's not game breaking, but it still would be nice.
I agree. So
I got one.
Okay, go ahead.
I'd like to see in both the public queue and the private queue, and this is going to be a slightly slippery slope. I
I
want
will
to see
keep
the
us from
ability.
that slope.
I want to see the ability for you to say, I don't want to enter a match with Air and Artie.
I would like to see that, yeah. Or even
I'd
just having a private
Because-
lobby option for it.
I mean,
Private lobby,
228 partook in a clan invitational recently, and it was great to sit down and just go, no Air and Artie, right? Because it's more honorable. We can have an honorable fight, clan style, brawl. And they're like, yeah, that sounds great. And we just did it. And that was back before the
No
private
one said
lobbies.
no.
I
Yeah.
think that
Play without it.
I think that would be really, really hard to do in public queue, but in private queue, I think that you should have the ability to restrict certain things.
In private, that'd be a nice feature.
It would be a nice feature. And obviously, I mean, that grows, though. I mean, like, it's like no PPCs, no Gauss, no AC5s. I mean, like, at a certain point, it's like, well, what the fuck do you restrict?
Well, you could do, and you could do a checkbox of everything that takes up the whole screen. You go in, you're like, you can't use XLs, you can't use Pharaoh, you can't use this shit, and then it takes you back. And currently, what it does is it restricts any mechs that you have that have illegal loadouts.
But it's a private lobby. I mean, why do you need to state that
It
beyond?
could be fun. I mean, you could enforce it through the game client first of all for tournament purposes.
Well,
Nobody would ever drop again with an air arty, and like accidentally fuck up a match.
accidentally forfeit your match from
Yeah.
an error arty strike.
Well, I mean that shouldn't be a thing anymore because we can just fucking redrop it in like 15 minutes. But
Well, or you just be smart and shoot it over the hill. And
No.
take the module
no,
disadvantage.
we had somebody try and like get us for that once.
Well, you're giving us too much credit there, Tony, because we were dumb enough to not realize that one of our guys had it, and he threw it. So,
well, yeah. If you strike the other team with it,
Right.
That's
yeah, we weren't smart enough to throw it behind a hill behind us.
Yeah.
at the
Anyways.
I'm
beginning of
just
the
saying,
match.
if you have it, you toss it off to the side. You don't worry about it. And then
Yeah,
it's like,
we
oh,
didn't
you,
do
well,
that.
You just have a module disadvantage. Like,
Anyways.
We didn't do that.
Okay, yeah.
You should have
just-
heard- you should have
just
heard the-
pooped on 'em with it.
Yeah, we pooped on him.
Okay.
Tony, when you threw that out of bounds, you should have heard our team speak chatter. We're like, "Who the fuck just struck them? Own
Yeah.
up!"
Well, and I mean, it's one of those things where it's safer to just get rid of it just in case you muscle memory that button, right? Because if you use a strike on an enemy team in a comp game with no strikes, it's obvious, yeah, you should forfeit that game. There's no way around that. But if you just toss it off in the distance, then no one can really complain, right?
Not gonna lie,
Well, it was just where you had tossed it looked like
When you
we'd
guys had
relied-
tossed it on us. Yeah.
where we would have tossed it at you and maybe missed.
Yeah.
not gonna lie, I know somebody who actually just takes the key out of their keyboard whenever they do it.
Well, that's what we
I
do
know a
with the jump
couple
jets.
people that do that.
That could work.
That's what we do with the jump jets. If we accidentally bring them, then at the start of match we just unbind them.
No, I'm not
Yeah.
talking about unbinding. He
Yeah,
literally
not
has a
unbinding.
screwdriver next to his keyboard, and he just pops it out of his keyboard.
Yeah, I
Oh.
know a guy that has a knife, and he just jimmies it underneath the space bar and pops it out.
I see.
Yeah, they're silly.
So,
Sounds a bit
Silly
excessive.
bitches.
we're running slightly later than I intended, but that's fine. I do
Still
want
have
to.
so much to talk about.
I know, right?
Well, let's move on.
I do want to
One last-
cover. Yeah, go ahead.
The dream would be an option like fucking Super Smash Brothers, where you could go down the list and be like, I don't want the Fire Flower.
No,
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 Doris.
that's what I meant. Like, you can just
Okay.
select that. Like, I don't want XL mechs in this match. I don't want, like all mechs have to be standard engine, running standard armor, standard interior, and only medium lasers.
Yeah, I say it's a dream though because on the levels of the actual programming side,
Be a bitch.
it would be a bitch.
They could do the same thing that they do right now, where they exclude mechs with unfair loadouts, but then you wouldn't be able to select them to like actually prepare the loadout, and you'd have to leave the lobby to recreate them, and blah blah blah, blah etc.
Pipe dreams in my. I just want to be able to fix my mech in the game.
Yep. No, I like that one the most. Okay, so the pseudo-original point of this episode was to talk about how these are going to affect leagues. And I think we've covered that quite extensively, but I want to hear like official examples of what's going to happen. So Tony, we're going to start with you because your league is up and running and going and people know what the hell is going on. What changes are you making to Merrick Civil War now that we have private lobbies?
So, this is brand new. We're still tweaking with it a little bit, but sneak peek on the War Room. We'll tell you guys what we're planning here. Basically, we've split the maps into 5 categories. We have hot maps, cold maps, temperate maps, and then we also have large maps and small maps. And so what we're going to do is we're going to randomly seed those 5 categories into all of the planets on the map. Factions will be able to pick their capitals, which planetary type they'd like, and then we'll probably do Atreus as temperate, just because that makes sense. It is a wonderful place to live. So essentially, that's what we're gonna do. Those maps have 4 to 5 maps, or sorry, those categories each have 4 to 5 maps on them. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna sort of have it like the Arhod drop order. You know how you'd have your tonnage, your 5 games worth of tonnages would shift over the campaign. So we're going to do that. We're going to roll for every turn randomly for the 5 categories, and so each category will be preset. So, you do your game and you go, oh, okay, we're playing on a hot map for this planet, and then you just look at what the hot map rotation is for that turn.
Dude,
Yeah.
So that should be pretty easy.
that's going to be awesome, because so now you're going to be able to...
To embellish it, since I actually wrote the rules, I don't know if Tony looked at them yet. So the idea is that basically, like, let's say there's 5 of each one. To make it easy, we literally roll a dice of 1d5, and we'll go, all right, the first map will be number 3. The second map will be number 2. The third map will be number 1. The fourth map will be number 2 again, and number 5 will be 5. And that's the way that the rolls go for all the planets. But what those numbers are for each map will be discerned by the list. So you'll say, oh, this is a large map. It is, the large map has Alpine Peaks, Tourmaline, etc. And it goes, all right, so the numbers are 4, 3, 1, 1, 2. Okay, that means that the list map order will be this. And then we can just basically roll 5 dice, done. Every map hits that. Here's the list. Here you go. Turn 4, boom, these are your maps.
So, will you ever repeat maps, Versi?
Yes, up to 2.
Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna put caps
if you
on
get
it,
like
but...
3 1s, the last one will be re-rolled.
Okay, and so we forgot to mention this earlier, but how are you planning on dealing with the current issue with private matches where you start on the same side every single time? So red team starts on one side.
1 second. The one thing I was going to tie in with this was the one thing I had hoped that they were going to add was rather than just pick a single map or pick random, I was hoping there'd be a bit of a Smash Brothers thing where you could check off all the maps you wanted and then hit random from that grouping. I think that'd be a nice little addition that shouldn't take them too much effort, hopefully.
So, just out of curiosity, how early are you finding out which map you're going on? So you know your
before
pool.
The turn.
You know your pool
before
going
your
in.
attacks are declared and everything, you'll know what the list is.
So like the day before the meeting, Tony and I will sit down and we'll roll all of these, and I will put it into our battle spreadsheet so that every team can see the maps that they would be fighting on previous to their choosing of the teams and the fog of wars that would be used.
Dude, builds are going to be so different now.
Exactly. It's going to add another level of deck creation, right? You're playing the large maps, or you're playing the hot maps. Suddenly, Merrick's always been known for having the crazy metas and shifting. You got to have a different meta for every planet, but now it's even more so, right? You're adding the planet.
Now you know that you're on a hot map with PPCs. Why would you bring PPCs? Maybe you want to choose PPCs. Now you don't have to use your fog of war to allow you to have PPCs or disallow the PPCs. There's going to be a whole lot more strategery involved in
strategies, bro. Come on.
No, strategery. It is strategery.
User was banned from the server. I need that soundboard too. So we're gonna actually come back to that sided bit because that merits some discussion. Is there anything else that you're changing for Merrick?
We looked at the options, and I'm super, super happy with private lobbies, don't get me wrong. But I was a little disappointed that there weren't actually any options that we could play with. And for what it's worth, I don't know what other options... I don't have a huge list of things I did want.
Giving turrets to one side or the other would be pretty cool.
Yeah, that would have been awesome. But the point is, it's like
that's a map asset, though. Like, that's weird.
So we can pick the maps, which is awesome. That's the best feature of the whole thing. We can do less than 12v12, which is fine. It helps a lot with the different leagues, like AV8, 4v4, 1v1. But that doesn't really do anything for Merrick. You can change the time. Like, you can play 10 to 20-minute games now. I don't think that does anything for us, really. So there's not a lot we could fiddle with. We took this week or 5-day break from Merrick to, say, oh, private lobbies, we're going to figure out all this stuff. Well, it's really just a map thing, unfortunately. More than that we can do.
Yeah.
Well, we were afraid it was going to be broken as hell.
That's gonna be like a huge difference for Merrick. So I'm really excited about that.
Yeah.
Okay, so...
Well, no, we're gonna push it to the very end. I'm gonna give Versi his little bit here, and then we'll mention it at the very end, so that I can cut you guys off at an adequate time when I need to.
Push what to the end?
The talk about the sided
business.
business.
We're gonna come back to MCW.
Okay, no, yeah, that's cool. Let's talk about the The fact that if you're the
No.
private lobby
No,
leader,
Tony.
you draw. No, okay.
No, that. Are you done with Merrick Civil War? Are you done
Yeah,
talking?
that's
Okay.
it. That's Mix of War.
Versinix, I understand you're starting a tournament soon.
Yes,
Jesus,
I am.
Tony.
It is called the Martial Olympiad.
Tell us about this tournament.
Oh my god, he's reading off a prompt.
I am not, actually. I'm just trying to sound like a dick.
Okay, so
Cough.
Mercstar / myself is starting an arena-style tournament. And we've all been wanting to be able to fight one-on-ones forever. Or 2-on-2s or 4v4s. So I had set up a league half a year ago that did this, and I had to handle cameramen and judges and everything being in the match, and it was atrocious. And now we have the private lobby system, so now we finally get to actually compete against one another and see who are truly the best light mechs, who are the best heavy mechs, who are the best assault mechs, whatever type you are. Now you have the chance. And so why would we not have a league that did this? So there's a couple leagues that have been coming out. The Germans did a 4v4 league. They started one a couple, like 2 or 3 weeks back. Someone sent me a message about it. Han Solo from BSK has one going. Looks very cool. And I have one going. It's called the Martial Olympiad. And the idea is that I took the large maps that we have and I quarantined an arena where the matches would be fought. And all the players in the 1v1s, 2v2s, 4v4s will be able to fight in those arenas for glory and combat and posters. And
Sweet-ass posters.
Sweet-ass posters, which actually will have your name, your opponent's name, like a fight card poster. And you'll be able to go into those arenas. You'll be able to fight mechs of your own weight class, and you'll be able to say, I am the best medium mech. I am the best heavy mech that competed in this tournament. I have a poster to prove it. I'm a badass. And it'll be a lot of cool fun. And it's for charity. The charity thing was an afterthought. We didn't think about it too much. But the big thing is that no tournament had ever done anything for charity. And so we're like sitting there, we're like, hey, we have a great community. Lots of the community like to donate, to good charities. Let's do something with that. Let's build a sign up where you pay $2 and it goes towards charity. It doesn't help anyone but the charity. So this charity, it's for the Make-A-Wish Foundation International. It's to help those kids that don't have a lot of time left with us, and to make their dreams come true. And I thought that was a good thing. A lot of us have children in the community, and it's not required to enter the tournament, but if you want to donate a couple bucks, there you go.
Killer. I'm looking forward to it. We're going late, so I think I'll have you back on another time to talk about it in hella detail. But it sounds really cool. I already signed up.
Post a link out on the chat if you have.
Already did.
He got it.
Oh, dude, I'm already signed up for assaults and heavies, and
actually really good.
Yeah.
I'm really impressed with how much work he's put into how.
This
all
is
of
going
this
to be my
goes, and
favorite kind of mech warrior. This is quick, this is dirty,
has
this
a
is
lot of
brawling.
potential. Yeah.
I'm signed up for heavies and assaults, and then I got a 2v2 team.
It's also a small time commitment.
Yeah.
You're looking at 20 to 60 minutes at a maximum per week to participate in this.
Yeah. It's very fast, very easy. The matches are very quick, very skill-based, and the at least from the units, particularly in this room, Jaeger has done a great job. I love the dude. He's been pushing this like mad. It's going to be really cool. This weekend, I plan on actually holding kind of like a prelim where people get to actually try it out and play it. I'll be hosting that on NGNG TV, where I will host it. I'll get another guy to play the other sponsor. And we'll bring lots of people in. Whoever wants to join us will come in there. You can do 1v1s, you can do 2v2s with us, 4v4s. We'll do the whole thing. I'll try to get a couple hours each day on the weekend so that you guys can actually try it out and see if this is something you guys want to do.
I can do that with you tomorrow night, Versi. If you're not busy. Oh, we
I
can talk about it
have
later.
work till 7, but I'm game on after that.
Perfect. Let's do it. Yeah, super cool. I'm already signed up. Sace is signed up. Siri should sign up so that I can try and beat him if he wants to try and play assaults.
I will actually
signing
be
up already.
in the 1v1 every single weight bracket.
Dude, I know.
2v2 and the 4v4.
I'm excited, man. I get to take you on in heavies and assaults. It's gonna be good.
There you go.
So yeah, sign up for this. It's gonna be hella fun. The last thing, and I guess this is it's really just a mentioning. I think there's not really a need for discussion on it. One of the biggest problems right now with private lobbies is that when you drop, you always drop on a specific side. So red team always drops on one side and blue team always drops on one side, and that's set. And that needs to be random, or at least it needs to, if you're playing a multiple series on a certain side, there needs to be a way to switch it, so that we're not having there are maps that are dominated on one side, Alpine specifically. So we need the ability for that to be switched.
Yeah, pick which side.
So I don't think we need to talk about it that much, mostly because we're over time, but that's super important. We need that. So
Nico, if you are listening right now...
He's on a date. He's out on a date.
He's out on
Okay, if you review this tomorrow...
I already tweeted him about it.
Show Paul.
Show Paul. Make fix. Great.
We love you.
One quick thing we haven't mentioned. Your lances in lobbies reflect the lances in game.
But not the spawn locations.
No, it is. It is. Just the lances are off by 1. Charlie Lance in lobby is Bravo Lance in game. Bravo is Alpha. Alpha is Charlie.
Oh, that's good to know.
That's good to know. Yeah.
Somebody put
competitive community. Write that down.
Somebody put 1 2 3 instead of 0 1 2 3. Awesome.
I was gonna be a dick and keep that to myself until you guys figured it out.
I'd have noticed it eventually. I've only done one game so far where I
haven't
did that,
hit Alpine yet, and then I would have noticed it.
Yep. Okay, killer.
We actually figured it out halfway through our game with Sig.
There's a little bit, there's more to talk about, but there's always more to talk about. So I think that's going to be it for tonight. We covered a lot of good stuff. Got to talk about the leagues. So let's go around and do some shout-outs, starting with Sace.
Oh, wow. Okay, shout out to the Olympiad. Look out for Team Fisto Roboto.
Yeah.
Okay, Krieger. Antonius.
Well, I guess 2 shout-outs, if I can. One to Marshall Olympiad. That looks super great. I'm hugely excited. That's going to be a blast. And I guess a shout-out to Merrick Civil War. We've passed the halfway point. We're actually nearing the end. We only got 6 weeks left of the campaign. So,
yeah, man.
Shout out to Merrick Civil War. Keep on trucking.
What month is that going to finish up in?
6 weeks as of this Sunday.
Nice. Killer.
With a Duchy of the Orient in first place.
Ooh.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
Such Duchy. Yeah.
To drag you guys down.
Oh, such Duchy. Very successful.
Such Duchy, very well.
Oh, yes.
You get a totally unbiased vote here in this chat. Who the Duchy's going to win?
Yep.
We'll see if...
all in favor, put your hands in front of your webcams. Oh, wait.
Oh, wait.
Versi, give us your shout-out, man.
My shout-out will actually go to SWK. Yesterday they were practicing formats, preparing for the tournament for the Marshall Olympiad, and they pointed out an exploit on one of the maps, which I must fix.
Ooh.
Instead of keeping it to themselves and winning the tournament with it, they brought it to me and let
out of
me know.
curiosity, what map and what exploit?
It was Caustic Valley, and the arena was in the
caustic fog and the little water piece.
The hot spring area.
Yeah,
and they found out that I gave them a hill, and the hill allows you to get above the fog and see the entire map.
If you get on top of the hill, your CFG stuff works like it used to.
Uh-huh.
See everyone.
And suddenly you can see everyone. So
that's broken as
they
shit.
Fucked up my area because that was a baller ass location.
It was a good location, yeah.
Like everyone was like, "Dude, that location is awesome," and they fucked it up. So now I have to come up with a new area.
Play on the opposite side. That
the ravine over the hill.
Ravine over the hill could be fun.
Yeah, that was definitely brought up as a location, and there'll be some play testing, and I'll get a couple of the teams that are signed up already involved to find new maps.
I just have to go do that in
locations
the
for
public queue, so I know where everybody is.
And Versi, make sure you advertise the Marshall Olympiad test day or days, and we'll get a bunch of people together and
Well,
some
that'll
all
be this weekend. I'm going to be doing the NGNG thing, and I'll actually be polling a bunch of the community as a whole. The NGNG viewers and stuff like that. So if you are not signed up on NGNG to the follow thing, and you get go ahead and do so. Get the email, see that my name's on it. Everything this weekend will be the Marshall Olympiad testing. And I'll bring people in to do that, and we got enough players and stuff that I could do 3 4v4s per map.
And just to clarify too, it's suggested donation. We're looking,
Yes.
or you're looking for people to donate. But if $2 is too much for you, right? It's not a mandatory thing. You can still play.
It is not mandatory. It is requested. We do understand that there are a number of charities going on right now. One of the streams is for
Gimpy for MS.
Yeah, Gimpy for MS. We don't want to inhibit those other charities at all. We don't want to inhibit our competition because that is completely optional. All the money goes straight to Make-A-Wish Foundation. But if you don't have the change in your car, you don't feel like donating because you donated some money towards MS for Gimpy, we understand. Props to those charities as well, and we won't stop you from having a good time to do so.
Great to the point. Great to the
likes
point shout
charities
out.
with too many inhibitions.
Yeah, great. That was a really good to the point shout out. Siri.
I'd like to say I had something to follow that up, but I didn't have a series shout out on Monday, and I don't have a series shout out now. So on that note, I have a couple shout outs. The first one is LB10Xs, which are apparently really good.
They sound awesome on HPG, but keep going. No, to the point.
My second shout out is to Twitch being a piece of shit and deleting match videos in a day and a half.
Wow.
Dude, you gotta check that priority save, man.
It's priority saved.
Wow, that's dumb. Email Twitch support.
No, I have to highlight it.
Oh,
Or
dude.
it's gone. And so I'm gonna as soon as we're done here, I'm highlighting tonight's matches because fuck you, Twitch.
Yep, I'm gonna go do the same for my videos. I don't want to lose this. All right, killer. Well,
no, I had a third one, and my third one is the G-Man. And just so you know, the dragons all die in book 4.
That's not a spoiler for anybody who knows anything about anything at all, dick.
Oh no! Wait, I remember watching the Jaeger stream
Shut
of
up.
this.
Shut up! Nope.
Okay, you're all muted. Nobody on stream can see you anymore or hear you anymore. I just want to give stop talking though. Okay. I just want to give my shout out to everybody who came out to watch tonight. Thank you very much for coming. Thank you to the guests for being on. Everybody check out Marshall Olympiad. It should be a ton of fun. Love to play you guys. I'm gonna try and stream all the matches I play. Yeah. Other than that, have a great week. I'll probably stream a little bit over the weekend, but if not, see you next Thursday. Catch you guys later.
Reactor online. Sensors online. Weapons online. All systems nominal.